Hi, and welcome to Nevaeh's Nightmare. If you can't tell by the way that I look, today's video is about clowns. When most people think of clowns, they tend to think about the circus or fond childhood memory of one at a birthday party. But some people look at clowns and see them as an object of fear and find them unsettling. There is even a term for the fear of clowns known as coulrophobia. Where did this deep fear of clowns come from? Perhaps it comes from the fact that people have been attacked and harassed by mysterious ones that have come from seemingly nowhere. In this video, we will explore the strange phenomena known as phantom clowns. Our story starts in May 1981 in Boston, Massachusetts. In the early part of that month, stories and rumors began to circulate in the city and surrounding suburbs that strange men in multicolored clothes were trying to entice children into coming with them. Parents all across the area became concerned that something was going on that could harm their children. The police even put out a report on May 6th that the strange men, dressed as clowns, were harassing elementary school kids. One of the men was even reported as wearing a clown suit from the waist up and completely naked from the waist down. The day before, on the 5th, in Brookline, Massachusetts, it was reported that two men dressed in clown suits had tried to offer children candy in order to get them into their van. This greatly concerned the school administrators and parents and even prompted the school's investigative counselor of the Boston Public School District to put out the following warning to school teachers and principals in his district. It has been brought to the attention of the police department and the district office that adults dressed as clowns have been bothering children to and from school. Please advise all students that they must stay away from strangers, especially ones dressed as clowns. Soon, public hysteria swept the Boston area due to so many clowns being sighted by young children. Reports of clown men driving vans and attempting to lure kids into them by using candy increased. So it got so bad that the police were even stopping vans and pickup trucks delivering birthday greetings and even clownograms, but no one was ever arrested for any crime. The police realized that they may have been wasting their time, and they put out a statement that since most of the children were ages 5 to 7, that this must have all been a fantasy. The Boston Globe even put out a headline that calmed the public's fears, stating, "Police discount reports of the clowns bothering kids." After this, clown sightings dropped off in the Boston area. Phantom clowns were not done with the United States, however. Right after the Boston clown sightings, there were sightings in Providence, Rhode Island. Social workers there began to hear reports of the city's youth about their own encounters with the phantom clowns. Later on in May 1981, the sightings moved all the way to Kansas City, Missouri. On May 22nd, two girls were chased by a clown brandishing a knife who escaped in a yellow van. Throughout the day, the same clown was sighted at 6 different elementary schools across the city. Police were chasing yellow vans all across town, but never caught anyone that remotely matched the description of the knife-wielding clown. Police found out that a week earlier across the state line in Kansas, children had also reported being chased by the same clown with a knife. Some even reported that he was carrying a sword. In 1981, the Year of the Clown concluded with more strange reports. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, clowns were sighted and continued to bother school children. The sightings in Pittsburgh were even more bizarre, with not just clowns being sighted. Children saw someone walking through the city wearing a pink and white rabbit costume, driving a blue van, and even reports of Spider-Man and a gorilla trying to lure a young boy into a vehicle. After all this, the clown sightings died down for a while, but this did not mean that they stopped. More evil phantom clowns were spotted in Phoenix, Arizona in 1985, West Orange, New Jersey in 1991, and even as far away as Brazil in 1990. Sightings continued into the 21st century in Chicago in 2008. We'll look into the role in the Chicago area and the Phantom Clown lore in just a little bit, but none of these sightings hold a candle to 2016, a year that we would call the second year of the clown. Clown sightings started to escalate around 2013. In that year, there were sightings of creepy clowns in Northampton, England, and it turned out that there was nothing creepy about these sightings, as they were work of a local film crew who were using these appearances to drive traffic to their Facebook page. Copycat clowns began to be seen all over the world from 2014 onwards, after the release of the documentary Killer Legends that contained a segment called Why Are Clowns Scary? After this, creepy clowns began to be seen all in Chicago area, especially in the Rose Hill Cemetery. A clown was seen scaling the wall into the cemetery by two people that lived next to it. The clown waved at them as they recorded him and then ran off. The police investigated but never caught the clown. In August 2016, phantom clowns were once again sighted all over the United States. Sightings occurred in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and many more places in between. In Green Bay, pictures were actually taken of the clown as he wandered around a vacant parking lot. The pictures went viral on Facebook, and after this clown sighting exploded all across the country. In Winston-Salem, a clown was approaching children similar to earlier Boston sightings, offering them candy. When the police arrived on the scene, the clown ran away. But none of these sightings were as weird as that took place in Greenville, South Carolina in late August. At the Fleetwood Manor apartment complex in Greenville, children began to report to their parents that men dressed as clowns were coming out of the woods and using candy to lure them away from their homes. At first, the parents thought the kids were just seeing things, but once they compared stories, they were all very consistent. At least 30 different kids had asked their parents if they had seen the clown in the woods. The apartment complex even had to send out a warning to parents that this was going on. The police were called in and they were patrolling the area looking for men in clown costumes. In the meantime, the children were reporting that the clowns were trying to lure them into the woods with money. The rumors circulated among the children that a small building next to a pond in the woods was actually inhabited by the clowns. The police actually went to the building to investigate these claims and stated that they had found clown paraphernalia, but what this actually consisted of, they wouldn't say. From August to October 2016, clown sightings continued all across the nation. Speculation as to who was behind the sightings was rampant. Many people thought the clowns were part of some viral marketing promotion. Some speculated that the Greenville sightings was a campaign for the Rob Zombie movie 31 that came out that year. Rob Zombie denied this, however, so the sightings remained unexplained. Some people were actually arrested dressed up as clowns, but they were deemed to be copycats, as the clown sightings were being reported daily in the media. Things got so bad that actual professional clowns were finding it hard to book gigs. The World Clown Association, yes, that's a real thing, actually had come out against people dressing as clowns to scare people. McDonald's even had to release a statement that Ronald McDonald would have to keep a lower profile because of the clown-related hysteria. Clown mania died down as the media turned its attention to the election and a new set of clowns. What is behind the sightings of killer clowns? In 2016, the main driver may have been the internet. Remember that the sightings in Green Bay started the clown hysteria all across the nation due to a viral Facebook post. It turns out that the clown involved is part of a viral marketing campaign done by the Wisconsin filmmaker to promote a short horror film called Gags. After this clown sighting went crazy all across the country, many of the clown sightings could have just been people that were inspired by social media and decided they wanted in on the action. This was indeed the case, as many people were arrested dressed as clowns. The Greenville sightings, however, remain unexplained and were much more bizarre. There was an element of the mass hysteria with them, and that was not seen in some of the other sightings, but they were more like in the 1981 clown wave. What explains the sightings all across the nation in 1981 and even after in other countries as well? In 1981, there was no internet or even 24-hour news channels. Were they due to something else or something more rooted in human psyche? The answer may lie in the figure of John Wayne Gacy. Gacy was a serial killer from the Chicago area that killed at least 33 teenage boys and young men. In late December 1978, Gacy was arrested and the story became national news. One of the aspects of Gacy's life was that the media put out there that Gacy had been a birthday party clown going under the name Pogo. As far as known, Gacy never killed any of his victims dressed as a clown, but the media put pictures of him up on TV in his clown suit. Because of this, Gacy became popularly known as the Killer Clown. Gacy was put on trial in 1980 and sentenced to death. In 1981, Gacy's crimes were not too far in the past, and the image of Gacy as the Killer Clown was still in popular consciousness, as it is today. That brings us to the role that popular culture has in these sightings. There has always been a motif of evil clowns. It didn't start with John Wayne Gacy. As early as the 14th century, there were Italian comedy plays featuring an evil clown character. In the 19th century, we saw the opera Pagliacci that told the story of a murderous evil clown character, as well as evil clowns turning up in the stories of Edgar Allan Poe. Perhaps the most famous evil clown today is Pennywise the Dancing Clown from Stephen King's It novel, which has now been adapted into a miniseries and a 2-part film. Pennywise is depicted as living in the sewer and preys on the fear of children. Pennywise is just a mask that the entity uses to lure children into it. Some have speculated that Gacy may have been an inspiration for when Stephen King developed the character Pennywise. King may have also been inspired by the Boston clown sightings, as he lived in New England and it was very possible he heard about it. From the 1980s onward, the evil clown character exploded in films and other types of media, such as films as Killer Clowns from Outer Space and the Terrifier series have helped to cement the image of clowns as something murderous, horrifying, and gruesome. With all the entertaining popular culture, it's not surprising that there was an explosion of evil clown sightings in 2016. But there is another aspect that could be influencing sightings of evil clowns, and that is social anxiety. In 1981, all across the country, social anxieties dealing with children were increasing. In the early 80s, there were beginning to be 2 great social hysterias. One was stranger danger, the idea that people were abducting and killing children, and that kids now needed to be leery of strangers. The other was the satanic panic, which was just getting started at the time. The clown sightings could be seen as fitting in with both of these, and really could be seen as the extension of both of these. There is also the role that stresses inside of a community could play. The first clown sighting took place in Boston in 1981. For several years before, there was a great racial tumult in Boston dealing with busing African American students in white neighborhoods. This issue had been somewhat resolved in 1981, but tensions still remained high. These tensions, combined with strangers abducting children and media coverage of Gacy dressed as Pogo, was the perfect stew. It is possible that all of this boiled over in 1981 in weird clowns trying to abduct children. These clown sightings sparked ones in other cities that could have also been experiencing socialite stresses and tensions. The same could be said in regards to 2016. This time, it wasn't just one community, but the whole nation that was involved. 2016 was an extremely contentious election year, and turmoil was high and stresses ran high in the country. Finally, there is the possibility that some of these sightings may be entities that feed on our stressors and our fears. They can take many forms, but for some reason in these cases we've talked about, they choose evil clowns. They may be used as motifs in our popular culture to reflect back on us and what we would think they would like us to see. After all, clowns are just another word for a trickster, and these clowns may serve the cosmic one, kind of like Pennywise. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments, how do you feel about clowns? Are you scared of them? Do you like them? Do you love them? I like clowns, but I also don't like clowns. I'm scared of the circus ones, and I like the scary ones and the cute ones. Bye!